Live, share to the mindsets here at the Daryl King Team. All right. We've got a good audience here, but I know we have a lot of people out there right now, and we're in for a very exciting day. I have a very, very special guest, and I'm so excited. One person that will match my energy or surpass it is this lovely young lady right beside me.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
woo! Let's bring it.
You know, today we are joined by Mary-Anne Gillespie, and I'll tell you, she has energy, she has smartness, she has wisdom. She's the CEO of Red Apple Coach, and she's the driving force behind 7 of Canada's top 10 teams, including the #1 Remax team, with over 25,000 hours of coaching, 207 millionaire sales reps, and a track record of building teams from 2 to over 200 members. Her expertise is unparalleled. But Mary-Anne's story goes beyond real estate. She's a cancer survivor, an Iron Woman world champion, and a proof that anything is possible. Please join me in welcome Mary-Anne Gillespie. Woo!
Oh my God, I freaking love it. I love it. No wonder. Oh, you guys want me to station myself in here. That's what's happening, I'm telling you. I love it. Well, thanks for having me, guys. And, you know, it's okay to call me an Iron Man. You know what? I'm okay with that. I kick the ass out of the men just as much as the women. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it, Daryl. We're good. It's good.
Right? I'll tell you, I remember the first time I ran into Mary-Anne, it was just love at first sight, right? No, it is. You know, when you run into someone that inspires you and motivates you and inspire, you know, in so many different ways, you know, it's great. That's why we always look to get great guest speakers on here sharing the mindsets. And, you know, her track record speaks for itself. But it's some of her personal things that she's overcome.
Yep.
These challenges, that shows the energy and the strength and the fortitude that she brings. And, you know, to have her come in live, tell them where you came from.
I came from Ottawa.
You got any snow there?
We didn't get snow, but the ironic part is I guess because of some of the issues you had here, it's a 45-minute flight that actually took 6 hours last night. So I was like, how did that take 6 hours? But anyway, long story short, we made it here. It's good. I'm here. So that's all that matters. But it was awesome.
My sister was in Ottawa. Diane.
No way.
Diane, where are you? That's my sister. She lived in Ottawa.
Okay, I was looking. I'm like, where are you? You're in Ottawa too?
On Preston. We own a house in Ottawa.
Oh, I love that area.
Right.
Cannolis.
How about beaver tails downtown? Right?
How many people think beaver tails are really from beavers? That's my favorite thing. I'm like, we play that joke on every American that comes to visit us. We're like, come on down. We're going to take you out for some beaver tails. They're like, that's disgusting. We're like, no. It's you got to do it.
Right?
Yeah, it's terrible. The things we play jokes on the Americans, I tell you. But it's good. Their dollar's worth a lot more. They can take it.
Well, listen, for all you Americans that may be on here, come on up. We can find you a nice place. Your dollar's worth a lot, and there's some great deals out there.
You're super rich here.
Right?
Like super rich.
So, you know, I know you have an incredible story that's inspired so many people. Can you share more about your journey and what led you to where you are today?
Absolutely. So, like, way back, I was the youngest vice president of business development. And so I don't come from much. My family had passed away and whatnot when I was younger. And so I was left homeless. And I think one of the best things is that I have this innate ability to see the positive of everything. So there's always something, like when something really terrible happens, you can see that there's terrible, but there's also some really great things that leads you to. And I learned that at a younger age because I've never had authoritative, I guess you could say, influences. And I think what that's allowed me to do is get really connected with who I am, what works for me, the strengths I bring to the table, and the other things. And I think that I've learned that transpires into coaching. So when I was the youngest vice president of business development for a software firm, I ended up getting a Google account and a Facebook account and all that stuff. And I just decided one day, I was like, this is not for me. I was in the papers and everybody was like, this is the young girl to watch, you know, watch her. She's a businesswoman, watch. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, there's just something that wasn't connecting. And legitimately, I looked at the Guinness Book of World Records and I went and I flipped it open and it said, what are the top 5 salaries that you can earn? And number 1 was a dentist and number 2 was real estate agent. So I was like, yes. And I'm like, let's do it. So I was like, all right, I'm on my own. I'm like, that sounds really amazing. Like, why do I want to work corporate when I can be an entrepreneur and in control of anything that I want? And I needed very little education. So I was like, this is amazing. Like, I didn't have to go to school for 20 years for this? And I'm like, that's awesome. So I went ahead and I got my real estate license. And then I was like, but before I got my real estate license, I said, I got to go all in. So I said, who's the top realtor in all of Canada? And I went and I found the top realtor in Canada, happened to be in my city. And I went and I mentored with that individual. And I had asked that individual, just the successes that they had. And one of the things that they credited was their coach was Howard Brinton at the time.
Howard's great.
Right. And so anyway, so I was influenced with coaching before I even got licensed and the power of coaching. And then the second thing that mentor said is, he said, the second thing is he goes, if you're excellent at listings, you will always win in the real estate game. And I was like, so he says, those two things, a great coach and crush it at listings, and you'll see your career will be incredible. So I followed his advice and I went out. In my first year in real estate, I ended up doing about 80 deals, and I landed a developer contract and other amazing things. And it was a ride since then. But then I realized that my passion was coaching. And then I was brought in, I was recruited in to join an office, and I loved this office. It was amazing, but it was an office that was just starting out, and there was literally it was not a great office. It was very unproductive. And so I ended up taking that office and volunteered to be the coach of that office. And I took everything because I said, this is really easy for me. And I'm like, I know systems, I know models. I've been exposed to coaching way young. And so I just decided, I said, the biggest challenge is all the agents just never saw anybody who saw their full potential. So then what ended up happening, I was like, I can create programs to do this. So I went to the owner. I said, can I have a chance to do this? You don't have to pay me. I'll do it for free. I can flip this. So I did. I ended up flipping the office and built the #1 Canadian real estate office. And we surpassed all the Americans as well for production for 3 years in a row. And that's what made me decide at that point to abandon selling real estate and just transition into coaching. I was like, this is just the most incredible career and field. And you are like not only a business owner, but you have support, you have training, you have coaching, you have systems, you have models. And I was like, and you can make anything you want in this industry. Why would I not jump in?
Why would you not? So listen to this. Not knowing really anything about real estate, because her career's in another field.
Totally.
She figures there's an opportunity. Remember we had on the wall? Opportunities are there every single day. So she dove right in. She's not one of those people that walked up to the water when you go to the ocean or something, stick your toe up there, no, it's too cold. No, she literally just went, boom, all in. So if you don't have a passion for this business, I would tell you to get out, because it's not for you. It's not for everybody.
No.
This is a very tough business. But I'll tell you what, if you grasp it and you give it 110% every single day, you're going to survive and you're going to be successful. So that's
fun.
what you did. You had a mindset. Where did you develop that mindset? This is what triggers me. What triggered what? You came from a bit of hardship.
I came from tons of hardship. I think even some of my Ironman stories. So I'm an Ironman World Championship athlete, and Daryl was saying it, I was 300 pounds 5 years ago, and I flipped that and I said, I'm done. And I'm like, I looked at a picture and I was like, now it wasn't always 300 pounds. I just decided I wanted to eat like a lot. And so anyway, so I went all in. Like you said, there's no like middle ground. So if you're going to do something, go all in. So I did. And I was very overweight, and I was still healthy, but overweight. And I said, you know what? Again, I said, what do I feel passionate about? What's the hardest thing I could do? I Googled it. It said Ironman. I went all in. And then within 5 years, I'm a world championship athlete, lost the weight, hired 5 coaches. And I think where that mindset that I see a pattern continually carry over is that I learned when you lose your house and you lose your family and you have nothing, which is where I was as a young person, then you realize you have 2 options in life. You can be a victim, or you can be absolutely your own hero. You can be one or the other. And everybody goes through shit. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's going through something. Everybody's having a hard time somewhere. I don't care who you are. Don't believe social media. It is completely a highlight reel. So everybody is going through something. And if you can identify what you're going through, but then also say, do I want to be a victim of what's happening to me right now? Or am I going to be a freaking hero? Is this going to be my story where I'm going to sit back and at the end of the year, I'm going to look back and I'm going to go, I listened to all the garbage and I was influenced by everything else? No, you got to look and say, what am I afraid of? And what am I afraid of making a big move and doing something I've never done before? And what you learn, Daryl, in my life is I've been exposed to death, a lot of death. And, even myself confronting that as well. And even in Ironmans, I've seen people die right next to me in competitions. And what I realize is life is this short moment. That is it. You don't know tomorrow, it's not guaranteed. The next, I was sitting at a table with my mom. She was having a coffee. 4 hours later, I didn't have her anymore. 30 days later, I had no house. No family, no house. So everything is a gift. And if you wake up in the morning and you act like a victim, then what's the purpose, right? You have so much more than you think you have, and you're lucky. So value it, appreciate it, but also you got one effing life. That's it. You go all in on this life. You do not wait. Just go all in. And if you want to do something, why are you holding back? Just do it. You know what? What's the worst that's going to happen?
What's my favorite saying, guys?
Oh, shut up. Really? Now. Do it now.
Right?
Yeah, you got to do it now. Like,
So,
don't wait.
If you listen to Mary-Anne, she faced her fears. She faced her challenge. Remember that little short video we just did with the lion? Why is the lion the king? Right? Many different reasons. So, as I said, it all starts from your mindset. Without your mindset being programmed correctly, there's nothing that you're going to accomplish. You could be the best athlete, but if you got a shitty mindset, you're not going to win. You could be the best salesperson, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to win. It all starts right here between your ears, not someone else's ears. Be careful who you listen to. I tell them that all the time, right?
Such a good one. Like, even look at, I hate bringing it up, but I'm going to, look at Tiger Woods. One of the absolute most epic golfers. And then when you study and watch that guy, the minute he was exposed that his mindset was shifted, his career just gone. And he could never get it back. It was just over and over. And so what did he choose? Did he choose to be a victim, or did he choose to be a hero? Choose to be a victim. So you're going to live there. Doesn't matter how talented you are. So make the choices. That's a great example of it.
So in your opinion, what qualities or habits set exceptional agents apart from the rest in today's competitive market?
Well, you have to like chocolate. No, I'm kidding. I'm only kidding.
I just came back from holidays. I love chocolate ice cream.
I love that chocolate. I would say the qualities right now is we're a skill-driven market. So we're a very skill-driven market. So the agent difference right now is the difference between an agent who says, I understand I need better skills, I need to be highly scripted, you need to know exactly what's going on in the market, and you need to be hyper-local. And it has to be that way. You have to be the smartest, most knowledgeable. You need to know how many listings are on the market. What is the days on the market? What is the turnover period? Do we have how many housing starts in the area? What is going on? What just sold? What just listed? You need to know your shit better than anybody else in the market. Because if you sit in front of me, the consumer is smarter than they've ever been because of everything that we have access to. So if you're not smarter than the consumer at this point, consumer is going to find somebody who is. And their value is not going to be there. So, and then harness the powers of everything that your team actually brings to the table, or your brokerage, and just harness the powers of that and be like, how many listings are you carrying? How well are you doing? How are you outperforming the competition? What is the benefits of doing business with this company versus that company? You have to be highly competitive and highly skilled. And if you've got those two, easy peasy, lemon breezy.
Remember I said be prepared, guys? You need to be prepared every single day, because if you're not prepared, you're going nowhere, right? You have all the tools, but you got to use the tools. Because what happens, I find, Mary-Anne, is you would find out that lots of people have tools, but they don't even use them. They just set about to do whatever they were doing. Like I just lost 25 pounds myself.
I know,
right?
Looking good.
So I went on holidays. I got away from my discipline, put on 6 pounds. But, as soon as I came back, I've lost 2 days, I've been back, lost 3 pounds.
Nice.
Because I went right back to that discipline. The longer you get away from the discipline and commitment, the harder it is to get back into it. Look at how long it takes you. Look at, you said you were 300 pounds.
I was.
You didn't lose X number of pounds in one day.
I wish.
No, it took a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, and, you have to be able to make that sacrifice, because it's not about anybody else. It's about you. And if you want to be successful, you need to, listen, there's 77,000 agents still. I heard they lost 20,000 agents. And
they did.
Right? And when they got to renew their licenses again in January or whatever, you'll probably lose more. So that's a good thing. We're getting people that shouldn't even have their license. But if you want to be elite, you want to be the best, you got to act like the best, dress like the best, act like the best. And it all starts the day before, not the day of. If you start the day of, you're already one day behind.
100%.
Right? True?
True, and you have to celebrate who you are and say goodbye to that person and everything that they brought to you too. So like, don't beat yourself up. Kind of look at it too. When I was 300 pounds, that was, a lot of people talk to me about that, and I'm like, when I was saying goodbye to that person, first of all, I'm very disappointed Ozempic came out after. Like, what is that? That's the worst, shittiest timing ever. I did 16 hours a week of exercises, meal planning, 5 personal trainers. It was like an exorcism every day for 2 straight years. But I think what ended up happening is that you can't hate that 300-pound version. You've got to appreciate that there was a journey that you were on. And I was like, that was a really important person in my life at that moment that carried me through. And I'm grateful for it because all of the lessons it taught me. So whoever you are today, don't let that hold you back. Say goodbye, like Daryl said, embrace who you want to be. But also don't feel bad about wherever you've been or how this year looked or anything like that. Just embrace it and be like, that served a purpose. A lot of learning lessons, a lot of things happen there. Take it, embrace it, move on from it. Don't regret. Don't look back and don't regret, and don't judge who you are today, and don't think that's going to stop you from getting where you need to get to.
Life is a journey. Your journey, what's behind you, you can't change. Mm-mm. It's past. Learn from your journey. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your wins. But you have to have failures. You're going to have lots of failures. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that I find is people, when they have a failure, they go and run and they go hide. They go home and they go between the sheets and they disappear. So if when you disappear, I know you're hiding. You're not winning, right? So I can see by what you bring to the table, but just not showing up and being accountable to yourself, never mind to anybody else. So you need to face those challenges every day. What's behind is behind. Learn from it. Live in the present. Look for the future, but live in the present. This is the now. So you got to be doing something today to make something happen for tomorrow. If you don't do anything today, what's going to happen tomorrow? Nothing. Right? So, people think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And guess what? You're already coming now, December 3rd. So we have 27 days, 28 days left for December. Let's go make this your best December. Do you know that December, and I normally go away for at least a week in December, but it's always been one of my very best months. And the reason that it's one of my very best months is because I didn't meet my goal, because my goal I always set high. So I need to go catch up as much as I can at this end of this month, and I need to focus to make sure that I'm splashing through into 2025. You imagine if you stop working like 90% of the agents are right now, what are you going to bring January 1, January 2nd, January 3rd, whatever you're going to go back to work? You're going to be starting from freezing cold, and that's how your business will be, freezing cold. So whatever you're doing now is going to propel you into the new year. And that's so crucial because this is the time to go touch bodies. This is the time, listen, to have you in here today. I can't even, I couldn't think of a better person that I want to bring in. We were going to do this in November, but she was traveling. She was down with the #1 real estate company down in the States.
With Compass,
right? And so we said, okay, we'll do it in December. And I figure it worked out even better because for our team and everybody that's listening and anyone that'll watch it later on, that moving forward that you'll be working, take a few days off, celebrate with the family, go celebrate whatever, but don't stop working. This is so crucial. It's crucial to your success for the rest of this year and for 2025 because, listen, if I want to lose weight, I'm going to wait till January. So then I'm going to go party and drink and eat like whatever. I'm going to gain another 10 pounds. So I'm already 10 pounds behind and my mindset is already behind. But I'll go through the holidays and I'll celebrate, but I got to go to a Christmas party tonight. So I'll make sure that I indulge a bit, but I'll make sure I watch what I'm going to eat. So crucial. So with the year coming to a close, what do you think are the most important steps agents and teams should take to finish strong?
Well, I think you answered that, but here's the thing. The year is not coming to a close. So I will tell you, we look at December 1st as New Year's, right? So we go, December 1st is New Year's. We're like, let's kick it up, right? Like we're talking, in our business planning and stuff, we're like, it's time. Like 2025 for us starts December 1st.
Yeah,
it does not start in January 1st. First of all, a couple things. The brain loves micro goals. It loves it better. That's why so many people fail on New Year's goals, is because they're too long. They're huge. It's like you start off January 1st, everyone's like, I'm going to do all these big, audacious goals in January. And then the brain's like, yeah, man, I'm lazy. Like your brain is lazy. And it just says, it's natural that it's lazy. And it says, I'm just going to take a siesta, February, and then this date and that date. And next thing you know, it craps out on your goals. So setting big goals in December and making it New Year's has been something that we've switched around. We have a call blitz every 27th to 30th. So we do call blitz and we try to get everybody that we coach going the 27th to the 30th. Do your check-ins. The best script I would say to use in December is the one that we're using right now, which is we have a challenge for everybody. Can you line up 21 pieces of business, so 21 yeses, by the time New Year's hits? And it's a contest. And what we do is we say, everybody get on the phones, and we're like, and everybody's got cell phones, and if you look at your contacts and everything, you can see you have thousands of people. Pick up the phone, starts with A, go all the way to Z, and just say, hey, it's Mary-Anne, I'm just checking in. It's the end of 2024, and we're lining up 25. We do not want to miss you on the Daryl King team. We do not want to do this. And one of the most important, I'm using your name, so I'm like mucked up. And one of the most important, I know, I'm like, and I'm like, you guys are loving it. So one of the most important things that we're doing is we want to check in with all of the important people in our lives to make sure that we don't miss you for a follow-up next year. So are you thinking of doing anything real estate-wise in 2025 that we can book you in for a time to follow up? That's it. That is it. You just do those and you're like, boom, 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 boom. And if you can get 21 pieces of business, which you absolutely can with your databases, then guess what? You can put your head on the pillow on the 31st and you are already 6 figures ahead of 95% of the agents out there. It's the easiest script and it's just like the best calling. And then everybody's happy between the 27th and 30th. And they're all like, yay, Christmas is great. They got it over with. New Year's is kind of like, woo, special moment. So everybody's very happy. So we do that. And that's all we do for lead generation in December.
So guys, we just had a meeting before this. And one of the things I talked about is having the touches with everybody they know. Right? I even had like I had a little triggers thing with all the people that you could go through and everything. But reach out to them now. This is the most crucial and critical time. And maybe tag in. I didn't say 21. I want them to do 50 if they can. But 21's a smaller measured thing. It's the third.
Smaller? 21 pieces of business. Come on.
I think like bigger.
Okay,
right?
Let's go 100 then, because I feel like, no.
No, I'm kidding.
I think it's
if you
like
did
it's
21
good.
And they started with 21 business coming in January, you'll be going pretty fast. Because some of them will have none.
Some of you will have none, but also don't panic. You've got cell phones. If I was to pull everybody's cell phones here, take a look at them. You don't need to stretch too far. Just take the call, take your cell phone, hammer it out. A's, B's, C's, and have fun. Your energy comes across in the calls that you do and the things that you say. And it's like, so when Daryl and I are making calls and lead generation, like our energy's there. It's like, woo, woo, we've got a lot of great stuff happening. So I think for us, it's like when you pick up the phone, get excited. And don't forget too, though, is like the most important thing about connecting with people is that they think and they feel better when you call them and you reach out to them. So try not to hide around behind technology too much. I feel like this is not the month that you want to hide behind it and start texting. I don't really love getting a lot of texts or a lot of emails. I do like a phone call. And even if you leave a message, it still counts. So dial in, because this is not the end of the year. This is your beginning of the year. How do you want 25 to look is how you show up in December.
Guys, that personal touch. Remember I said I used to fill my trunk up with little gifts? And I'd just drive around and I would just drop them off all day. That's all I did. Just was in the area, thought I'd drop by, I was thinking about you, I got a little gift for you, right? And I'll tell you what, you want to touch their heart? Just fill your car up and just go by. If you can't do that, the telephone, your cell phone, just boom, just go through it. But it's that personal touch, especially right now. And, we're trying to collect for the Yellow Brick House. So, you can also ask them, by the way, we're collecting for the Yellow Brick House, which is for abused women and kids. We do it every day. So if you have any new clothing or food or money or anything you can donate, you can drop it at our office or we'd be happy to pick it up. So lots of times I've gone even up to Newmarket to go pick up a little thing. Didn't matter because it was just reaching out. They're willing to give something. I'm willing to go travel to go get it, right? So be humble, come from gratitude. Remember the things that she went through in life, right? So you're always being the victim. Don't be the victim. Be there to help somebody. That's really what it's about. Listen, wherever I go, I'm trying to be the peacekeeper. You know, friends will argue with each other, whatever, and they'll say things, and I go, guys, whatever. Someone said, you know, I'm different. I said, thank God I'm different. I don't want to be like all you guys, right? I'm 16 guys. I don't want to be like them. I want to be me. I'm my own DNA, right? So be yourself. So, you know, that's why I said if she wants to swear, let her swear. That's up to her.
I am myself. Like, I'm wearing sparkling booty shorts. Like,
It's
come on.
holiday season.
Like,
right?
yeah, it's holiday season. You know what I mean? Well, they're not really that short. Come on. But anyway, long story short, I mean, you have to also like have fun. Like, it's a great industry, and it really is. And I think when what Daryl just said was so important. It's like you have to get that fear out of you and just reach out to people, care about them, and it's your job. Like, I want you to flip the noodle for a second and just say, how weird is it? How weird is it? Think about this. That everybody you know on Facebook, Insta, on your cell phones, your friends, your family, they all have shelter. They all have a roof over their head. And you're in a real estate industry. And they know that you're a licensed realtor. And you never reach out to them. So I'm going to share with you something that's very interesting on this one. When I was 300 pounds, okay, I had two amazing personal trainers that I will not name. They were on my Facebook account. And you could tell I was 300 pounds. Like, that's an obvious thing. So anyway, so long story short, they never said a word. And I wasn't always 300 pounds. So you could tell that something was going on. And they never reached out to me. So then I didn't feel comfortable reaching out to them because when things happen to you, you kind of are like, why are they not reaching out to me? This is so weird. So anyway, long story short, I hired 5 top coaches and they whipped my butt, as I said, into shape and look where I am now kind of thing with the World Championship. I'm a sponsored athlete and all the above. And they sent me messages. Both of them independently sent me some of the most scathing messages you've ever seen. Just cutting me down, everything you can imagine, that I don't support women, I don't support business owners, who am I? And I just respond back with 2 questions. I said, first thing, did you notice that I was 300 pounds? Because I just want to know, like, did you actually notice that? And both of them were like, yes. I'm like, okay, good, we're good. I said, the second thing is I said, did you ever reach out and see if I was okay? Did you ever check in? Did you send me a message? Did I miss it? And both of them said no. And I said, then shame on you. I said, because at the end of the day, when you can see or you know somebody is going through or physically, or you offer a service that could help them, then why are you not reaching out to me? Because I felt terrible. So it's the same thing with people with their houses. If you assume that everybody buys and sells houses because they're happy, then you're missing 1 in 3 divorces. You're missing 1.6 million people unemployed. You're missing everybody. 35% of home sellers have stage 4 or more critical illnesses that need them to sell. You're looking at an aging demographic that doesn't want to sell, but they have to now because of other reasons. There's a million reasons why people sell their houses, and yet you're not reaching out to them just to check in a very changing market. And you always have to remember, physically people could see what I was going through, but your friends and family and people that are looking, they know you're in real estate. So flip that noodle and say, how strange is it that you've got realtor on your Facebook or on your Instagram or on your profiles or whatever the case is, and yet you don't pick up a phone just to say, hey, I'm just checking in. It's my job. I'm just checking in. I sat in the opposite spot. And if those 2 trainers would have used me and actually reached out to me, yes, their careers would have been made because I did what I did. And I would have been their success story, but I wasn't.
So because they sat back and didn't reach out, they lost an opportunity to take their career from wherever it is to here, but instead it probably went downhill. So you as a professional, there's so many people that need your help, and that's why I said to you guys, I don't want to give 100%. That's not my DNA. I want to give 110%. Do something and do it well, that they remember you. It's you know, look at how many times out of all the thousands and thousands of homes that I've sold that tried, 1 to 11 times with other agents, they tried privately, then we've come in and we sold them. Do you think they felt great? Absolutely. So you have that opportunity to make them feel great. Listen, having your one's house up for sale or trying to buy a house, it's in the top 3 stresses in the world, right? Divorce, death, flying, are the other ones. But, so they want someone to help them, to guide them. But if you're not reaching out to them, then maybe they'll reach out to someone they've seen on the street or they seen a sign down the street, right? But you're the one, that's what I said to you guys today about being on the contact list, right? So after today, I hope every one of you guys get onto that contact list. And we were supposed to do this 2 months ago, but some of you still didn't do it. So that's to blame is yourself for not doing what you're supposed to do, right? Listen, I have to take blame for myself for what I don't do. That rests on me. But if there's something that you're supposed to do, that rests on you. So you need to take responsibility for your actions or your inactions. And hopefully you're going to take responsibilities for your actions, because the opportunity is there's so many opportunities every single day. How many opportunities do you see every single day?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's thousands. I mean, even open houses. I mean, I would say on average, there's like 3 to 5 deals every open house. Every open house. Everything is an opportunity, but also at the same token, not to, I think when I hear you saying that a lot of agents don't jump in and do their dials and their contact list, you always have to kind of look at that. And first of all, you're missing a habit. You're just missing a habit. You got to just do it. It's a habit. So do it every day from this time to this time. Create a habit. It becomes so much easier. Partner up. There's a big group. So partner up with 2 or 3 people and have a challenge and be like, okay, everybody $50 in the pot. Whoever has calls remaining, you owe $50. Simple as that, and have something that kind of puts you into that mode. But also on the same token, you need to connect with why you're actually doing that. Is that in the business, even if you don't have that love for other people and you're like, you know what, it's not my fault they're getting divorced. If that's how you want to operate, that's cool. But remember something. Why are you doing it? This is a commission-only industry. Your freedom is what you're actually doing it for. Do you want a better life for yourself? Do you want investment properties? Do you want to take more vacations? Do you want that dream life that you've always wanted and visionized, and whatever the case is? But what do you actually want? What is freedom? Because that's what should drive you to also do some of these things as well, is to say, why am I holding myself back from success? And then move forward with it, and just one day at a time, micro it and do it 5, and start with 5 a day and then 10 a day, and just push through it. But I definitely see it a lot, guys. So it's not uncommon to not dive into your database, but success lies within completing that, for sure. Find your why and do it, man. It wasn't easy. What do you think, at 300 pounds? Just to kind of add this, at 300 pounds, I didn't know. Imagine waking up with 5 of the top trainers in the world, and they basically are like, all right, swim, bike, run. I did none of that, none. So I didn't swim, I didn't bike, I didn't run. I was like, I ate. But anyway, so long story, I did that really well, and none of them wanted me to do that. So I was like, what is this? So anyway, I had 5 trainers working with me every day. And they believed in me whole, which I really like about Daryl, is when you have an owner of a team and they believe in you. And they don't bring you on board unless they believe in you, which is really important to remember. And so my trainers really believed in me. But every day was terrible. I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, to work out. I have a very busy life. I own companies. I'm all over the place. I'm never in one spot. When COVID hit, the pools got shut down completely. And I was doing my first actual Ironman in Tulsa, Oklahoma in May, and the pool shut down. There's no swimming, and I didn't swim. What am I going to do? I called a client, and I said, hey, George. And he's like, what? His name's George Saba. True guy. He's like, you can look him up. And he's a yoga guy. And I said, you remember you own a property? And I said, and he goes, yeah. I said, do you still have that property? It was a beautiful property, and it had an indoor pool. And he's like, yeah, I still have it. I said, okay, you had an indoor pool. It was in a gazebo. He says, yeah. He says, I still have that. He says, it's vacant right now. And I said, okay, any chance that I could have that pool? And he's like, dude, he's like, honestly, he's like, it is freezing. It's the middle of winter. It's not insulated. There's water in it, but it's freaking cold. I said, can I have it? He's like, sure. I got 2 people to spot me, double neoprene wetsuits, and I went in 10 minutes at a time. I have videos on it. I went in 10 minutes at a time. Let me tell you something.
Cold plunge.
Ice water. 10 minutes at a time. I would get out for 10 minutes, in for 10 minutes, out for 10 minutes, heart rate monitors, everything. When you want something, you have two choices. You either find the reason to do it and find the breakthroughs are going to happen, or you find reasons not to. And there was no way I was going to let COVID or any other shit get in the way. I was like, I have a mission. You said it earlier, black and white, baby. You go for it or you don't. Simple as that. Success lies on the other side. You will never see me sit in the middle.
Remember, excuses don't get you ahead. You can make all the excuses in the world.
Oh,
but
shit, yeah.
not one of them is going to move you in the right direction. They're going to move you the furthest thing from where you want to go. So quit buying into someone else's excuses, quit buying into your own excuses, and start compelling to make some of your own history that is momentum, right? You know, I look at some of the people in this room. You know, I look at Chris when Chris came in here. Chris, how young were you when you came into this room when I hired you? 23. He's a baby-faced little guy, really.
Where is he?
Right there. He's one of my top agents right there.
Are you like 50 now?
No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm only kidding.
She's
I'm only
bugging
kidding.
you. She's
I'm
bugging
only
you.
kidding. I'm only
Right.
kidding.
But, you know, it could be 50 in wisdom because, you know, we have a love-hate. I consider my son, right? So, you know, as a fatherly figure sometimes, you know, I want to beat up on him more than I'll beat up on somebody else, right? So that the business maturity and his maturity that has developed, and as I mentioned with Sophia in that, is tremendous. So, you know, as a coach or a leader, and you start to see these people grow, it is like unbelievable. It's the greatest feeling that you can have. Yeah. And trust me, when you help someone sell their house or buy an investment or help to move to another property, help a family member, they'll never forget that. But they'll forget it if you never stay in touch with them because someone else will come into their life. Like everybody knows a family member that's a realtor these days. It's inevitable. Some of my
Especially here.
some of my best clients become realtors, right? So, you know, they were clients, and now they compete against me. But, you know, it's how you treat people, how you make them feel. So what I find right now is what is common pitfalls do you notice about agents falling into the final quarter, and how can they avoid them? Because as you and I both know, a lot of them stop working in November.
Yeah.
They didn't work much this year, some of them.
Yes.
But really in November is a shutdown. By the end of November, a lot of agents, you know what, I'm going to take some holidays. I'm going to wait till the new year, you know. But they didn't even have a great year. But yet they're going to take, listen, if you need to take a holiday, make sure that you're going to, I plan for my holidays back in January or December, whenever, right? So I know I'm going to be away at that time. So go make your business happen. So I know that, you know, Christmas Day, chances are I'm not going to be working. Probably Boxing Day, I'm not going to be working.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, maybe. I might, right? You never know. Maybe some. Listen, not everybody celebrates Christmas, and that's the beautiful part. But in all the years I've been in business, I probably sold, I think, probably about 15 houses on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. So think of the happiness that I brought to the seller, who I always represented the seller, and then to the buyer, because some of them might double-ended, right? Christmas Eve. What a beautiful Christmas present, right? So don't, listen, the holiday season is a festive season. So most people, as she said, unless you're stressed out with bills, and you're stressed out with bills if you're not working, right? So you think if you're stressed out now with bills and you're not working December 3rd, what are you going to be doing in January when the bills come, right? So do you drive for pain? Do you avoid pain? Or you drive for pleasure? Because it's 50-50. So you need to know what you said, Mary-Anne. What are you driving for, pleasure or for pain? Getting away from avoiding pain, right? I do both, right? I hate to be in a situation I don't want to be in, but I love the pleasures of life, right? So enjoy every day like it's your last day, because as you said, you had, you know, lunch or dinner with your mother. 4 hours later, it was all
4 hours
over.
later, everything was
Right.
gone. I mean, I think, and to answer your question, I think the two pitfalls that I see right now at this time of the year is I see the lack of competitiveness. So I think that I'm going to explain that. And I see this obsession with the word balance. And I'm going to be very honest with you. Balance is different for, like, it drives me nuts. I'm just going to be fair. You know, this whole balance thing, I was like, I want balance. So, okay, well, you know, I'm feeling a little stressed out because of the year. So I think I'm just going to take December and chill. And I'm like, why? Because that's balance. And I'm like, that's not balance. Balance is not about stopping to work hard in order to get balance. Balance is about finding something like my Ironmans and stuff like that. Yes, it's a huge commitment, but that is like my passion. Like, I love it, but I'm not going to stop working and stop driving my companies just because of that. I believe in a good balance. So I pick races in Panama and in Finland and all over the place. So I have this beautiful balance where I'm like, I get to travel and do something that I love, and all my training and, you know, 16 hours a week of Ironman training is like amazing to me. And that brings me this euphoric balance. That's my rush. That's my fun. And really, when I hear the word balance and somebody's, you know, saying I need to take an extensive time off just to balance myself, or I need balance, what that usually means is, what are you doing for fun? Like, where's your fun, right? You know, and that's balance. Balance does not mean give up on work while you go achieve it. It means, what are you bringing into your world that brings you a lot of pleasure that you've forgotten about because you're putting all the pressure on that? And I don't love that whole, I'm going to take December off because balance. And so that's one of the things. And then competitiveness. Look, you know, I'm competitive. Like, I mean, you don't get to, you know, 300 pounds and 5 years later into Ironman, you know, world championships because
and you never even swam and rowed
I never
before,
swam.
right?
I drowned 3 times. I was like 3 times I drowned in training. And I was like, and I never quit. I was like, I don't care. Save me. Somebody's around. They'll get me. You know what? It'll hopefully soon. I was like, you know, as I'm going down. But the thing is that when you're looking at competitiveness, the month of December is like, you need to, like, there's a great book called The Alter Ego Effect. And it talks about Beyonce. And Beyonce has like this Sasha Fierce. And it's an alter ego. And she brings out this alter ego on stages. Behind the scenes, she's a totally different person. But she brings out this fierce chick who jumps up on stages half naked, hair blown everywhere, and just like, yeah, and like, oh my gosh, you're just like, who is that? It's the same thing in real estate. You don't have to be this person all the time, but where's the competitiveness? Where's that desire to be like, you know what? Where's the best version of me going to show up this month? So if everybody is looking and going, they're taking December off because of Santa, right? And I'm like, okay, please do. I encourage them to do that. I'm like, matter of fact, maybe you should bake cookies for 2 weeks because I think that's probably a good thing. Like, do whatever you want to do, but I'm competitive. And I'm like, how's about we roll in when nobody's looking and let's crush December? And like, what the heck? And I'm like, if we know, listen to this stat, 27% jump in sales is going to happen in the first quarter in Ontario. 27% jump in sales over last first quarter. So guess what's coming? An amazing opportunity, huge opportunity. So are we going to wait for January like everybody else to find the opportunities? Or are we going to be sneaky, slide into December and be like, all right, everybody else, go do what you're going to do. Find that balance, find those cookies, do whatever you have to do for Santa. I'm going to like slide in, do a ton of calls, find 21 clients, and then guess what? You ain't going to see me coming in January. And that's competitiveness. And it's kind of fun when you know that that's happening. And that's actually how I did World Championship. I didn't tell any of my teammates, nothing. I trained offline, so we couldn't see any of my training plans for an entire winter. And so we usually can see everybody's stats. And I was like, I'm not going to do anything. I don't want anybody to know I'm training for this. And I just snuck in, and all winter I cycled, I ran, I did everything, I swam, and I doubled down, and I worked my butt off with my coaches. And I said, let's not tell my team. I'm with one of the #1 triathlon teams, and I'm like, I'm not going to tell them. I don't want any of my friends knowing. This is a secret, because I was like, this is the biggest. This is me going for World Championship qualification. I can't F this up. So I snuck in, and I said, there's an early race in Victoria. I'm going to sneak in, register for that, tell nobody, fly into Victoria. Nobody saw me train all winter. I trained alone, completely solo with my trainers.
And that's normally what they don't do in that.
They
right?
never do it. They never do it. So everybody's like, oh, she must be off season. She must be off season. And meanwhile, I'm like going hard at 4 4 o'clock in the morning every freaking day. I'm like doubling down on my workouts, everything. I'm hitting every key measurable. I fly into Victoria. Nobody saw. Nobody knew. I just, and then I was like, it's game day, baby. And a lot of things didn't go right, but a lot of things obviously did go right. And I just snuck in, and then I was like, boom. And then I posted at the end, and I was like, oh, by the way, I'm like, here's a picture. And I won, and I was like, here's the picture. Oh yeah. I was like, yeah. I was in the outhouse crying though. I was like,
right, guys, determination, right? You have to make sacrifices. If you're not ready to make any sacrifices, come on, this is about you. I told you guys earlier, remember I said you got to make December so strong that you come in January on smoke, right?
Nobody
on
sees
fire.
it coming.
So if everybody's not working, you're showing up and touching bodies and faces every single day, you're going to win. But if you just wait till January and say, oh, hi, how are you, right? And probably you won't even call them in January because you wouldn't call them now. So then someone like me is going to come along, or one of you guys is going to come along and go get that business. So, everybody says, oh, I'm going to wait. Do you want to be the sheep or you want to be the lion, right? I want to be the lion. I'm a king. So
oh, there you go.
That's always been my motto. Just go. So if 80% of the people are going to wait till the new year, the market will be flooded. So what happens when the market's flooded? More to choose from, right? Remember, that's why you have 11 reasons to act now. So interest rates are going to be coming down very shortly. So take advantage.
Like 8 days.
And in January, they're going to come down another quarter point.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're doing something, they can take advantage of it already. So, waiting, listen, remember, planes, trains, and automobiles and whatever, you miss that boat, you miss that plane, you miss that train, it's gone, right? You got to wait. So do you want to put your life on hold or you want to make it happen? So you're the one that needs a plan for your family time because, if you got a family, it's important that you spend some time with your family. I call my mom every day when I'm coming to work. Doesn't matter. Call her every day, right? So, you got family, you got kids, whatever. When I was married and Candace was young, I would go home and go have dinner with her, right? Go play with the dog, go play with Candace, right? So what are you going to do? Go spend some time with your family, but make your business happening, right? If it's holidays, wouldn't it be nice to go on a holiday for a week in a nice spot? It's paid, go do it, right? Or come in spring, you want to go to Disney World, you've got young kids. But you can't do anything without any money. And it's not about the money. It's about making someone happy. You get rewarded afterwards. Because I see people come into thing and they go, oh, big money, big money. Well, guys, don't think of the money. The money comes afterwards. She doesn't go and compete in this Iron Man, she wants to call it, but I got to be,
Do we have to cover that? No.
Right? So Iron Woman, she does that for her self-gratification, for her own commitment. Trust me, to go win something. Who's ever done an Ironman? Anybody here? No one in this room, okay? Including me. I cycle. I like to cycle all the time. Cycling is great. But swimming, I couldn't swim. I almost drowned a couple times when I was younger, too. So I couldn't swim. But, she didn't swim. She didn't cycle. Now she's a world freaking champion. Do you think there's dedication, commitment? She's talking about 4 o'clock in the morning, getting up and training, right? What are you guys doing to get better? Every day. So my birthday's December 7th. Just coming up.
Nice.
Right?
What are we doing?
We're just working, right? That's okay.
We're dialing. We're calling.
Right? So, no, it's okay because you have to have a passion for what you do.
Oh, gosh.
And if you don't, like I said, if you don't have that passion, go find something you might have a passion for. Because, I thought I was going to be a medical doctor, but my passion was always real estate. Being a Monopoly king, we didn't have money either. But my father worked for one of the wealthiest, he was the third wealthiest man in Canada.
Nice.
So I seen wealth, big houses, big fancy cars, so I like that side of the fence better than my side of the fence. So I decided to make some changes. As a young boy, I used to have the largest paper route in Toronto. I used to go every day from school. I went to Catholic school. I had to go up to Yonge Street to get my papers. And I went from Yonge Street to Bathurst Street, almost to Dufferin Street. And in the wintertime, I used to cry every single day. My poor hands, I had frostbite. You can see even in the little whites in my hand, right? So I was so cold. I had to take these papers through Golden Park, through the park. And it was, some days were so, think of the worst weather you had. I went every day, 7 days a week. And some days I would cry because I was so cold. And then in those days, we have to go collect the money. That was like, they didn't have this.
Exactly.
So we had to not only go deliver the papers, but we collect the money. But who got the most amount of tips out of everybody? Because I didn't throw the paper on the end of the driveway. I delivered every paper to the house, right? So I got amazing tips. My mother used to dress me and my brother alike. I hated it. At my father's funeral, I brought 2 suits that were identical with the puffs and everything. And I said, look, Mom, right? Just a little added on. So I used to love clothes. I still love clothes. So I used to go to Sir Williams at Yonge and Shepherd there, right across where the Willow Theatre is, if anyone knows Willowdale, North York. So, you know, I used to go to Sir Williams and get my pump up. We used to have the pump shoes back then and get the bell bottoms and the whole bit, right?
I'm like getting a little worried here. What year's this? No, I'm kidding.
But the beautiful part is that discipline at such a young age compelled me to be what I am today, right? That I'm not afraid of work. That's one thing my father taught us is, you know, we might not be the smartest, we might not the brightest, we might not be the wealthiest, but we'll outwork our competition. So no matter what, you can have everything behind you, but I'll outwork anybody here. And I'll challenge any of you guys. Even now, I'll outwork any one of you guys, right? So quit saying I'm going to, like, if I put a time schedule on you that we used to have a little money time thing. So when you're talking to clients or being with clients, you'd hit the thing.
Yeah, like an 8 timer.
Yeah. And probably how many hours a day are you working? Maybe 1, maybe 2. Go work a full day, right? And that's money business is not just being on the computer. That's not money business. Money business is face-to-face. Being at their open house, door knocking, prospecting, going to their house and go and visit them, doing an offer, doing a listing, doing showings, open houses. They're money times. All the other time is just preparation. And a lot of times you're not even preparing, right? You know, most people get up. They have no idea the night before. They're going to get up whenever they get up because their freedom. Yep. I got into real estate because I want to have freedom. So I'm going to get up at 10 or 11 o'clock. And now after COVID, they don't even come to the office so much.
100%.
Right? And you know, so then they think, okay, I'm working, and yeah, I'm working at home. Well, I'm in my pajamas, it's high noon, and now I'm on my lunch already, or I've walked the dog for the second time, you know, but I haven't talked to anybody all day yet, right? And it's like, the market's not too good now, is it?
It's on fire.
It's on fire.
It's such a good market. But it's also like, you know, the thing is like, I was thinking about that for a second about rolling out of bed and stuff. I'm thinking the one thing I can't stand sleep. It's such a waste of time. It's like, you know what? When I go to bed, right? When I go to bed at night, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like really? Like this is such a waste. I wish I didn't need this. I'm like, I just want to like, you wake up and you should be full of like this life going, huge opportunities, you know, lie out there. And it was Chris Cipriani that actually said it to me, and he's with Remax as well. And he said something a couple weeks ago in coaching, and I thought was excellent. He said, if you had a corporate job, do you get all of December off for Christmas and the holidays? No. He's like, you get 1 week off or that in-between week or that week and a half. And he's like, so why is it in real estate that everybody kind of zones out for the entire month? And he's like, it doesn't make any sense because you would never get that in the corporate world.
Any world.
No world.
Nope.
Like there's no world. I mean, so, you know, it doesn't make any sense, right? So gut check yourself a little. And then also look around and just be like, the one person you would never want in your market is someone like me. Because I would be out there going, ooh, Daryl King team. Like, let's hypothetically say that you guys weren't working. I'd be like, I would take my team and be like, let's go. Secret Ninjas, let's do this. And we would start the year off with such a bang, it would blow you out of the water. So top performers don't take the month off. Ambitious people don't. Big people with big dreams or visions or want to change, you start now is the moral.
Guys, so January starts in December 3rd. So this is your new year because anything you do now most likely will go to 2025 anyway. So it gives you an extra 28 days. right? Who could use an extra 28 days? Everybody, right? I would say there's never enough time. I'm not a big sleeper either.
Yeah,
You know,
such a waste.
I don't care. Even when I was away just on holidays, I would get up early anyway. Some of the guys text and I said, yeah, I'm up. Let's get together, whatever. You know, but start early. I mean, I can't think. I can get more done by 11 o'clock than most people do even before they start, right? So what have you done by 11 o'clock? You know, if you look at all the big performers, they've already done 70% of their day by noon hour. And then the afternoon, like I know most coaching that I've taken, whatever, you know, you can set up your appointments and stuff later in the afternoon, but your energy level is the highest in the morning. You have less distractions, you have more energy. So that your peak performance is, there's Tony Robbins, you know, I coach with Tony Robbins, and that's what he teaches, peak performance. You can't be high 24/7. You know, you do Ironman.
I'm going to say Tony hasn't met me personally then, because I'm pretty damn close.
I told these guys you got so much energy.
Oh, yeah.
But
I love life.
her performance in an Iron Woman or Iron Man, however you want to say it, I want to be
You can call it
political,
Iron Man. It's
right?
all good. We're good with women calling
Right?
it that, yeah.
So that's when you have to be at your highest peak. Your training is you're building up to it. Her energy, as you can see, she carries a lot of energy, right? Her energy is what gets her through her day. Her mindset gets her through the month, the year, right? So you need to train, but a lot of your training is also on your mindset.
It's all like we talk about that in Ironmans, where it's like the number one thing with Ironmans is you're not allowed doing it's you have 16 hours to complete everything, right? So you do a large swim, a couple miles swim in treacherous waters, and then you do like 113 miles. You come right out of the water, strip your wetsuit off, you have your gear on already, throw on your cycling shoes, and you're running the whole time. You're out of the water and it's like go. And in the water, you're getting kicked, punched, drowned. In Florida, we got pulled out by a riptide. It was terrible. 600 people got rescued from the water because it was like the Titanic. And I got pulled under 3 times. And so I still finished that one. And then right as soon as you're out, you run to your bike, you switch off, pull your wetsuit off. You do 112 miles on the bike through hard conditions. I usually pick hills. Then you change, as soon as you're done, you roll your bike in. Like you've just spent hours, like 6 hours killing yourself
Leg
on
burn.
a bike, like burning. And then you finish your swim, you finish your bike, you run, you go rack your bike, and then you rip your bike shoes off and your helmet, and you put on your sneakers, put on a hat, put on your sunglasses for running, and you're gone, and you have to do a marathon now. So it's like, and then you're like, okay, so, and you're not allowed any assistance or any music. No music. Okay, if I had headphones, I could get through almost anything with music. I'd be like, yeah, no problem. Put on some Beyonce. I'd be like, got it, girl, got it. But I'm like, I can't, right? So what happens is your mindset. So all this training comes into play. And then everything that comes through your head during an Ironman is every negative thing you can think about. You suck, you're horrible, you're this, you're that, you're going to die, you're not going to finish it, you're going to run out of time. You know what? Nutrition's not feeling good, your legs hurt, everything. Stop running. What are you doing? It's so loud that I cannot tell you. The best programming in the world will tell you every negative thing that you could possibly think to sabotage yourself from finishing. That's the hardest part of an Ironman. Well, you do the training. So right now I'm sneaking in. I mean, I'm pretty sure, hopefully none of my my athletes are watching this, but I'm sneaking in. Everybody knows I'm doing Ottawa. Ottawa is having inaugural Ironman this summer. So it's the first time we're taking,
Ottawa?
yeah, it's the
When is
first
it?
time. It's in August. So it's the first
I might
time.
want to come up there and
Oh, you got to
visit
come
us,
see it.
right?
So it's the first time that we're doing it. So we took it from Calgary, which is the Canadian one. So we took it, and now Ottawa is the inaugural. So we're hosting it, and it's sold out. So I signed up for it, and I've declared it. I'm like, I'm going to win that. There's no doubt. I'm doing it because everybody starts their training in January, okay? So look at the patterns, guys. I went from 300 pounds to world championship athlete. Everybody's in off season right now. All my team members, everybody's in off season. Everybody training for Ironman Ottawa is not starting until probably middle of January, right? This girl, I started training 2.5 weeks ago with my coaches. We're like, we're gonna get a 7 to 8 week leap, if not maybe 9-week leap on everybody. And we are in it to win it. We are like, let's go. And I'm sacrificing a lot for that. And I'm doing an early season race in the heat in Panama just in March so I could get in and do a half Ironman in March just so I could be heat ready and prepared. We are leaving nothing on the table. We are like in this shit. That's
So
what
how
you
much
do.
you get paid for that?
I get sponsored, so I get bikes. My bike is
But how much money do you put in your
nothing,
pocket?
nothing.
Guys,
My bikes and shit like that.
so how
That's
much
it.
is that bike worth?
$25K.
Right? So she gets sponsored because she's good. The sponsors pay for her bike. But for winning, being a world champion, she's not making money.
I make nothing.
But what she does is it for her personal
All here.
growth and mindset. So remember, she's talking about as time goes on, you don't have the team and stuff like that. The drunk monkey. You can't do this. It's too long. It's, you're not going to make it. The drunk monkey is there every single day. That's why with your habits, you have to be so crucial to what habits you're developing or what habits you're breaking or who you're listening to. Because more than anything that I find, most times that are not, everybody's an expert in our business. And I challenge them. I don't care. I say, who are you listening to? Someone that's never sold real estate? Yeah, everybody's an expert in real estate. I've only been doing it for 30 plus years, helped thousands and thousands of families. So I might have a little better edge, right?
Slightly.
And I said to my marketing guys, I did a little thing with, because I'm doing for the Yellow Brick House. So I had the little teddy bear, and I'm going for the teddy bear. Yes, I'll give it to the Yellow Brick House. I said I'm the worst ventriloquist, but I do it because it's a passion and a love just to mimic myself that I can get attention that people will give. But I said, I would hire a ventriloquist if I need a ventriloquist. If I need an electrician, I'm going to hire an electrician, right? I'm going to hire a plumber to do a plumber's job, whatever it is. So be the best that you can be possibly. And that is being 100% committed. You listen to Mary-Anne, she is so freaking committed, right? You look at any professional athlete, I'll use Sidney Crosby, right? So he's a little guy, came from Nova Scotia. They didn't have a lot of money. Now, he was you have to be gifted in some way, whatever it is, and you don't even know. But the training that he did and to become, so he's the second most active player with the most amount of assists that is playing. Mitch Marner just came number 3 last night. 600 games, he got 2 assists. Number 3 all-time active players. So these guys, they have the summer off, but the best of the best train. Like Gary Roberts, a good friend of mine. So Gary Roberts played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He had the neck surgery, the whole bit. He's at our golf course in Summit here. But he trains all the top athletes in hockey. All of them go to him because they have a very serious training program. So the best of the best are in his program. And there's probably other coaches that I don't know about, but he's probably one of the number one guys for the top athletes, right? So while everybody else is golfing or whatever they're doing in their off season, the best are becoming better. That when they come to the season, they're going to be better prepared. Look at Michael Jordan. He couldn't even make his high school basketball team. He definitely has to be arguably one of the best basketball players in the world. Couldn't even make his own basketball team. If you tried to do what you did when you were years before that, you would have never made it to that Ironman. Right?
I think it's, to parlay on what Daryl's saying with that, is that I think a lot of people, what you have to also know is that nothing, including coaching, including everything that I've done, including Ironmans, nothing has ever been easy for me. And I think that that's something that I've shared with a lot of people. Yes, my journey has been incredibly hard throughout life, but what I will also say is that I wasn't a natural swimmer. So I wasn't a natural swimmer, runner, cyclist, none of that. I am not genetically gifted in any of that. 0. I was never genetically gifted with this innate ability to go to school and be an A+ student or anything like that. What I'm really good at is working, as Daryl said a couple minutes ago, I'm the person that will work twice as hard to get there because I understand that, look, I might not, I don't come from much, right? So I don't have a hand-me-down. I have no safety blanket. So I know that hard work pays because when it came down to it, I'm not kidding. I drowned. I drowned in Muskoka. I literally drowned in Muskoka. And when I looked over and saw everybody cheering at me on the side of the water in the lake, and then all of a sudden I was like, see ya. And I watched their faces like this. I was like, there I go. Somebody better come get me. But the point is that it was really everything that I do, including world champs and everything like that. I've never had the support of anybody other than my coaches believing in what I could do. I had to self-believe, but I also was very self-aware that I did not have the gifts that other people had. I'm not a great runner, so I have to work twice as hard. I was not a cyclist, so I had to find out how to become one, and I studied it. And then I was like, I am not a great swimmer, so I was like, I will be in the pool 4 times a week when everybody else is in 2. And what did that allow me? It allowed me to join the elite swimmers. It didn't happen overnight. I went from drowning to being with the elite swimmers because I gave the time to work twice as hard. And then in cycling, it's like I am the biggest badass in cycling. I can go 27 miles per hour on a flat and fast time trial. I can go 49 to 52 on the downs miles per hour. That is fast. And I'm like, I can cycle and climb hills better than anybody. But here's the thing. We didn't know that when I was 300 pounds because I never rode a bike. What we knew at 300 pounds, I mean, you're not going to ride a bike at 300 pounds. I'm sorry. It was hard for me. I tried, but it was very difficult. So as we trained, here's what we learned. We didn't know this. My trainers didn't know this. My coaches didn't know this. None of us knew this. At 300 pounds, riding a bike and learning the skills to ride it and never giving up and being persistent with it, I created muscles in my quads that were powerful because it was powering 300 pounds. As every 10, 20 pounds came off, it was like my muscles didn't shrink. They were like, oh, okay, well, I guess we can work harder now. She's lighter. And I guess we'll work harder and we'll get faster. And this is easier. And let's do this. I trained at 300 pounds. We created a machine and we didn't know we were creating a machine. So a lot of you watching this or even listening to this or in this room right now, the thing that you don't realize is you actually have superpowers. And if you don't start to work on them now, you don't know what's around the corner for you. I will tell you, nobody would have bet on me. Nobody would have bet on me except my coaches. But me and my own self-determination. But I was aware since day one, and I have been aware in this point in my life as well. I have never been given anything free. I've never been given anything by luck. I have never been given anything other than hard work. If you really want to know, I'm one of the top coaches in the entire industry right now. But I will tell you, easy? No. I'm a female, man. And I'm sorry, in an industry loaded with some of the top alpha male men coaches. It is hard, and I coach some of the most powerful men in the industry. And the reason is because I never, ever accepted that something would be given easy. I worked my ass off. I worked my ass off over and over. Taking that company to #1 worldwide, not hard, right? It was terrible. It was the most hardest thing I ever had to do, and I never gave up. I worked hard at it. Robert Refkin, one of the most impressive CEOs in the entire real estate industry in the United States. Owns Compass Realty, all over the news now because he is literally game-changing. They just acquired Christie's. And it's like, out of all the coaches and all the people in the entire world, this guy, he saw me, he met me at Inman, and he was like, that's it, bring her over. He's like, bring her over, let's go, let's do this. And him and his team brought me in. 6 people in the entire world that guy chose. Just last month, and I was one of them. As a Canadian in Ontario businesswoman, there's nothing was given to me. I earned every minute with that guy and on stage. And you know what? You got to believe in yourself.
I told you she has a lot of energy. Right?
And it doesn't change at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, guys. Tony Robbins, you got nothing on me, that guy. He's too tall. He carries a lot. I'm shorter, right? So I got a little bit more energy inside. I'm like, whatever. That's the way I'm going to look at it, but I don't know.
I'll tell you, I love Tony, and I've been at many times where Tony spoke 16 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Our voices start to go, and we're like, at this time of the year, I'm like, my voice is going. But it's like, guys, the driving factor with me is always this, is that one day, I'm going to be the one in the box. Okay, I'm going to be the one 6 feet under or wherever it is, and who knows where I'm going to be at that point. But the point is that I don't know when the hell it is, But it's like when you wake up, you're like, okay, I know that, times are tough sometimes, but wake up and own the shit out of it and be like, this is your chance. Like, believe in yourself. Like, don't compare yourself to everybody else. I'm telling you, I coach enough people to tell you social media is just a highlight reel. That is it. Everybody is a whole bunch of messed up, okay? So I'll tell you that full-heartedly, even myself, I've got lots of stuff. You don't want to see the stuff that I post. It's there. But at the end of the day, it's like, wake up and be like, it's life. You get one shot. Don't mess it up. Just go all in and do whatever you want because it's always possible. Just recognize who you are and what you have to put in to get there.
So I'll adhere to that. So I always come from gratitude. Every day I wake up, I feel blessed, right? Because I almost died once. I was flatlined and I survived. So, I always thought that beforehand, but I've actually experienced that. So now I'm talking from real life. So every time my feet hit the ground, I'm like, every day I'm blessed. I've got an extra day. I don't know when that day's up. I don't know when that hour's up. So I live every day to my fullest. I don't shortchange anybody or anything. I'm going to give it my all, give it my best. Some days are not going to be so good, and some days are going to be amazing. Some days I'm going to pull my little bit of hair out that's left, right? But, you have to embrace what you want, and it's got to be from you. She can help, I can help, but you've got to take it. She has 5 coaches that have helped her. So you've got to take every asset you have and use it to its fullest. You got to get up and thinking, okay, what do I want to accomplish? But don't get up that day. You need to know the day before that. I would say if you're going to start the same day, I've already dusted you. You're not even in my ball game, right? So what is going to make to change you to go to that next level or even to the next level after that? Because you get a plateau, and then you get your next breakthrough. So I always think my birthday's coming up December 7th. And I always have a self-reflection time, and I think, okay, what did I do right? What could I have changed? What could I have done differently? What I'm happy about, what I'm not happy about. Everything about it is an experience, all right? I've had some heartbreaks. I've had some joy. I've had a lot of pain, made a lot of sacrifices. And if you're not prepared to do those, what are you prepared to do, right? What is the alternative? All in? Put your feet into the toes of the water? It's your choice. Make it your best choice. It's your choice. But you need to be careful who you listen to. I can't say that enough, right? That's why you have great coaches, and then you have coaches. Everybody wants to be a coach today.
Everybody wants to be a coach.
Everybody wants to be a real estate. Everybody wants to be a coach.
Call me if you do. No, just let me know.
So I want to say this. You have a business plan. I'm going to buy one of your business planning things.
Yes.
Right? And I'm going to buy a second one. So if someone is online or here, I'm going to give them a chance to win it. Right?
Ooh.
So we'll go through the roster and find out who is on here because you guys are here, but I want to give everybody time that was on here. And when does that take place?
Yeah, we're starting this Friday. So we do it, I run one of the best virtual business planning sessions. We do it 2 Fridays in a row, this Friday and the following, 3 hours each. And we are amazing. We cover very interesting segments that you've never seen before. And you walk away. The reason why I created it this way is we create the business plan during the actual business plan. So you don't actually attend something and then end up with nothing. So we actually roll the business plan straight out. And I will say something, though, that Daryl, I got to get it out of my head. You do not ever get in my circle or in my environment if you're negative. If you are anything, if the minute I hear or if you don't believe in me, you're gone. You're finished. There's nothing else. If you don't believe in me, I can feel it, I can hear it. I'm like, you got to get out. Or if you are super negative and you see the glass empty all the time, I can't live there. I just can't live there. And it's easier for me to be like, I got to get you out of my world. I'm sorry. Now, that's just how it is. Now, some of you listening and watching are probably like, well, what if that person is my partner? And I hear that all the time.
I'm divorced.
Exactly. So we know what happened there. But anyway, so long story short, that's okay. That's okay. I am too. We joined the club. Anyway, it's hard to believe, right? Anyway, so I just don't talk about it. But anyway, so long story short is that what you have to remember is like, if anybody says anything negative, it's like a done deal. Why would you ever? So if you have a partner that is thinking you can't do something, here's what I usually recommend. Because it's the number one question I'm asked that people are afraid to say in public. I always just say, first of all, divorce them. No, I'm kidding. So I say, I'm only kidding.
I'd be serious.
You'd be serious, I'm only kidding. But anyway, the point is you got to tell that person, it's okay. You don't always have to have your partner believe in you because they're not in your head. Nobody, can you imagine? Nobody believed in me, but I knew it, so why should I hurt somebody else? Like, if they don't believe in me, it's okay. Just zip this part, and you can still be in my system. Right? You can still hang out with me, but give me the chance to prove to myself that I can do it without your chirping. That's all I would need. And that's all you have to say to your partner. I get it that you're not in my world, so you don't understand what's up here and what's here right now, because only you as a human being can understand that. And that's okay. But just don't give me your opinion until I've had the perfect opportunity to show you that I can do it. And that can allow that person to still, like, it's okay to not have people believe in you. It's totally okay. Just don't tell me it because I don't want to hear it. And if I hear it, you're out. That's it. See you later. Right. Then we get the divorce. No, I'm kidding. Right? High five, Daryl. Let's do this. We know great lawyers. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, guys, I'm telling you, the best people to get you support is from your family, the kids, the spouses, the boyfriend, the girlfriends, whoever. Because if they're helping support you, it'll help rise you up. But if they're the negative monkey or the drunk monkey, they're the ones, or family is going to be your biggest pitfall, right? So I can't say enough and I can't emphasize enough that be careful who you listen to. That's why every day I'm watching positive, inspirational things for my mind, because if I have to listen and tell everybody all this negative energy out there, there's so much negative energy, and more so after COVID, you know, wars and this, that, whatever, and they're saying flu season and this season. And guys, wash your hands, eat healthy, exercise, feed the mind every day, right? So we have a few minutes. You got a few minutes for a few questions if anyone's got questions. I know we don't. Anyone online that has the questions, feel free to reach out to ask a question. Anyone here that has a question for Mary-Anne? Because she would love to tell you the answer.
I would love to tell you the answer.
Come on, big guy. I know you've got one. Come on up here. Look at this big, handsome young man right here.
Hello.
Right?
Look at you.
So he's lost. How much weight did you lose?
I'm on 23 pounds I lost.
Give him a hand. He looks amazing, right?
But to be fair, I just gained a little bit too. But my body's in better shape. I'm doing 4 a.m. exercise again, and I'm on routine. And
it shows. I can see it in you, man.
Nice work.
But you know what I see is here. That's coming back. Because when he wasn't feeling good, he was a negative energy. He really was. And you know, when you're not overweight or you're sick or something, sometimes your negative energy is going to sit in there. But as soon as I seen him today, I could feel the positive vibes that I felt first when I met him. He had that. Him and Mace worked together. Mace was always like this, and when
he's happy,
right?
They call him happy,
Mr. Happy, right?
I love it.
But as soon as I seen him out there, and I said right away that I said, "You look really, really good," but I could see this is starting to change again. That the mindset is coming back to you. So I recognize that.
Way to go.
Guys, I can look right in your face. You don't have to tell me anything how you're feeling. Your face tells everything. You're stressed, you're not feeling well, you're upset, you're happy. So remember that. I don't care what's going on in your world. When you're with clients, you need to bring your happy face. You need to let go of that negative stuff. They deserve the best of you. And I challenge each and every one of you to be the best when you're with them, because they don't want to be around that negative person. Otherwise, like, what are you there for? You're wasting their time and wasting your time. So go ahead.
All right, 2 things I'm going to share. First is funny. Someone told me today, one of my colleagues, I look like I lost more hair, and that was amazing. But in a compliment ratio.
You got more. It's all up here now.
But the second thing that I want to ask professionally from you, you switched from real estate to coaching.
I did.
You're a speaker now.
Yeah.
This is something that I want to learn to implement within real estate, but it kind of relates. How do you read your room and how do you pick up people when you see your audience is sitting, let's say the first row, and they're not feeling it? They paid, they're there, or they forced, they're there, and they're not feeling it. You got to battle that. So it's the mindset. How do you pick that up?
Well, you have to pivot the first thing I would say is that never speak on something that you're not in the core truly passionate about. Many speakers that I see have a fictitious speech, or they don't believe it. Like, it's not actually, like, it's something that was curated for them. Okay, and what I mean by that is, like, my stuff when I speak is all from here or from things that I'm an expert in. So I can pivot in 5 seconds. If I see a room that is not responding, I can pivot like that. I can just go, okay, they're not responding, so they're more emotional. So I divide the room. And I always know, you can tell where people sit. You can tell that there's, 10% of the room is always going to be on their phone, all that kind of stuff. But you have to really open it up with, the number one thing with a speaker is tell a story about something personal about yourself that is more resonated, like the audience can resonate with you. They have to connect with you. If you start and you jump in, like we were talking about, you heard Daryl talk about all this stuff. You've heard me talk about some of my journey. That's me connecting with certain people. And when I'm telling that journey, I'm looking at certain points at who's connecting. When I said the comment to you guys that, you know what, we're all going through something, okay? And I'm very good at reading body language. When I said, well, you know what, we're all going through something, and when I started talking about that, that's a sentence I was talking about. I watched the body movement of every single person from here to all the way around the room, and I watched it. I could tell you right now, but I won't. I could tell you who's going through the hardest stuff in this room. I could tell you there's 6 people in this room right now who are going through stuff that is very hard because their body language completely shifted. So if you can watch that and you resonate with that, and then you make eye contact with those people and you remember that you have to finish it. You can't leave those people hanging. You've got to give them the happy side too and bring them through it. So it's about really reading certain moments of when you talk about certain things in your presentation. But you can't do that if the presentation is not from the core. You need to pull it right from in here. And when I was speaking with Compass a few weeks ago, like my presentations, I'm the underdog a lot of the times. I'm the person, I was speaking with NFL players that have had like careers that are like insane. Okay, and they're packing rooms of like 10, 20, 30,000 people.
Was Gosling there?
Was that?
Gosling?
I think so, actually. I think so.
Yeah, I think
and so I was like sitting there and I was going, so these guys are packing rooms that are insane. And I was like, okay, and I'm the little squirt that comes in, right? And I've got like thousands, but not 20,000s. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, boom. But yet, I'm ranking higher, and the audiences are walking away, and the pictures are lined up, and people are just loving it. Why? Because what I'm speaking about, not that they're not speaking from their heart, but they're talking about something that is their experience, and my experience is really from the core. My experience is real, and the vulnerability that I share with it, it's not easy saying I was 300 pounds. It's not easy saying, like, and the stuff that I could tell you that I've been through, incredible. But when you speak from here and you present from there, watch the room and you can tell what resonates.
It's and hard, okay.
You have to see, when I talk about success, when I talk about numbers, who connects. When I talked about, I watched again, when we talked about pushing hard in December, I could tell 70% of the room doesn't want to do that. They don't want to do it. But
they want to take it off.
They want to take it off, but I can tell. But it doesn't mean they're not going to do it. So now in my head, I'm like, okay, we need to like anchor that and make sure that we finish that with showing a different connection of why this is important. So that I talked about freedom, I talked about the income. You need to, and as long as the topics are coming from the core, watch the body language and learn body language in a really good way at different segments of your presentation, and you'll nail it.
Colors and body language, guys, so important.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
You need to know the personalities.
Do you have a motivational page on Instagram?
I have, my Instagram account is redapple_coaching, and it's the only one I follow. Like, so I'm on that one. It's actually the one I'm on, so it would be the one that's most active with everything in there. And that's the one that I'm on the most. And truth be told, we are going to be doing a lot of speaking and masterminding and stuff like that. So yes.
Red Apple
_coaching.
Thank you.
We'll put it out there in the chat that everybody has it, right?
Thanks. Go for it.
Who else has a question?
Keep them coming. Let's go,
Come on.
guys.
Let's have a question.
Or I'm going to pull you up here.
Right? Come on, guys.
All right. You got it. Okay, we're going to start first row.
Okay,
Let's
here,
go.
hold on. We got one right here.
You're
So,
lucky.
That's anonymous attendee. Wow. Why do you be anonymous, right?
Ooh, sexy.
That's not. How do you maintain positivity when in your farming area when you see other people getting listings?
Oh, that's
Well-
such a question. I love it.
Answer and I will say the same thing.
Okay, so how do you maintain positivity when somebody takes listings in your own farm area? You know what? Again, are you a victim? Are you going to act like a victim, or are you going to learn from it? Look, I get my ass handed to me on a regular basis, every single week. Okay, and the one thing I learned, because somebody said to me last week in open house training, is they said, well, let me ask you a question. They said, what would you do if you had a friend, okay, who was doing an open house or whatever, or they're working with an agent? Would you take that agent? Or would you take that client? I said, yeah, I would. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because. I said, you must learn. If you fail at something, you must learn that that is the universe saying, do something different. You're missing something. You're close, but you're missing something. So if you're farming an area and you didn't get the listing, there is something missing there. Okay, so don't get frustrated. It's just a dot. So figure out what it is, and then go and figure that out. Are they flyering more? Are they door knocking more? Are they lead generating more? What are they doing that is preventing you from getting that? And don't stop. You've got to find the dot that is missing between where you want to be and where you are currently, and you've got to amalgamate that dot, and you got to find it, and you got to jump into it. There is always a way to the top. So don't give up, get inspired by it, and be like, I'm going to take that down. Before Daryl says this, so the company that I worked for previously, when I built the company to number one, what did I do? I called the number one office in the entire world, and I called the owner of the office, and I said, why are you successful? Why are you number one? And the owner said, because I have a great productivity coach. And I said, wonderful, you have an amazing productivity coach. So I said, who is it? Said Russ. I said, okay. So I called Russ. I said, hey, Russ, it's Mary-Anne Gillespie from Canada. And he's from Austin, Texas. And he says, oh, wonderful. I said, yeah. I said, listen, why are you number one? And he says, blah, 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 blah. He gave me the reasons. And I was like, you know what, Russ? Here's what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to give you a year. He says, what do you mean? I'm going to take you down. And he's like, what? And I said, oh, yeah. And he started laughing. He's like, I love you. And I said, no, like, seriously, I am. I said, you just gave me all the hints. I said, can I call you anytime? He's like, yeah, sure. Good luck. Anyway, so I did. They had 700 agents. We had like 80. And I was like, I'm doing this shit. So anyway, so long story short, we're really good friends now. But the point is that whoever beats you, just call them and ask them, what do you do? I'm impressed by you. Stop looking at it as a U-turn. Go and explore it. If you are a competitor to Daryl's, or like you're in the industry and you're not on his team, I don't think if you said to him, can I pick your brain, take you out for lunch for an hour and just hear what you do to be successful? Listen to him. What is he doing? And figure it out and do it. Best advice.
So here's how I would add on to that. So she gave us a name. I won't mention her name, but it is Cynthia. We don't know last name. So stepping up and saying your name is being more positive, because, you know, when you say your farming area, how is it your farming area? What do you do to make it your farm? First of all, you're never going to get 100% of the listings at any time. I don't care how good you are, right? The best of the best may have 5%, maybe 6%, maybe 7% or 8% if they're lucky. So that means you're going to lose more than you're going to win. So if they've got something in your listing, go find a buyer, then go sell it. Who cares, right? Listen, it could be their relative. It could have been their brother. It could have been sister. It could have been a good friend. Who knows? Listen, I had a condo. I spent an hour and a bit talking to the people, sold them everything. But when it came at the end, their agent was a very good friend of theirs for over 20 years. And who's a good friend of mine. So that was Robert, right? So, you know, Robert, that was the two people. But I'm happy for him because he's my friend. You know, I'm going to get a little bit. He's going to get a bit. The guys and his wife are going to get a bit. So don't be depressed about it. Be happy for other people's success. But I always believe that if I didn't get something, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? Everything I do, I measure it to myself. Because was I on par? Was I, you know, maybe I was fighting with my team about something. Maybe I was fighting with a girlfriend. Maybe, you know, whatever. I didn't sleep well. I watched a scary movie. Whatever. I may not have been my best. You know, when did I last talk to anybody in that area or that person, right? Look at a self mirror. And that's what you should look at every day, in a mirror. Because that's what you've got to focus on, is what did I do or what didn't I do? Because more times than not, it's not something you did or what you didn't do. It's you weren't even there. So when you say it's your farm area, do you own your farm area? What percentage do you own your farm area? Do you know what's listed? Do you know what's sold? You know what days, like you talked about before, knowing your market, right?
And know your stats too. Like measure progress, not perfection, right? I think a lot of us seek perfection and instant gratification really quickly. And you have to really embrace progress. As a coach, I can tell you progress is more important than anything. As you're progressing, like, and we learned that in Ironmans quite a bit, but I will tell you, you know what, Cynthia? I will be very honest with you. Many times people forget to look at the progress. And then it's like, there's a moment where you're going to see, like, I think it's called The Compound Effect, the book. And it's all about,
Great book.
It's a great book. It's all about small. And there's this whole thing about that is epically amazing with progress. I was 300 pounds. If I didn't value progress, what was I expecting to lose all the weight in a day and then compete? No, I literally can show you pictures of how many times I failed at races and got my ass handed to me at races, or shit happened and it went left or right. My bottle fell out when I was qualifying for Worlds, and my bottle on the bike fell out with all my nutrition and everything.
You've been dehydrated, right?
Dehydrated, everything. In Tulsa, I got ran over. I had a puncture in my stomach. Like, I had to finish in my first Ironman with a punctured stomach. And it's like, but you can't. It's the progress that you make in the journey that you've got to say, hey, like, okay, I get that. Learn, progress, and don't give up. And then eventually, Cynthia, you'll take them out at the knees.
Cynthia, just by you asking this question, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to win. Like I said, you're not going to win 100% time, so don't get negative. Just take your share, right? So here's one thing I'll tell you as a positive mind, that, you know, when one property lists, two more listings or two more sales are going to pop up within a 2-block area. So go get them right now before someone else does. There's 2 other people that are going to make a move. Go get those 2. You missed that one. That's okay. Get the next 2, right? I don't lose. I get even or I surpass. It's that simple, right? I'm competitive 100%. Too, right?
Yeah, you know what? To me, it's like, it's a fun game to play. And then worst case scenario, I mean, you could follow that agent around and just go after every listing that, no, I'm kidding. I'm only kidding.
Wait. I got one for you too, Cynthia. Maybe that person doesn't want to do an open house. Ask them if they need someone to hold an open house for you. Go hold an open house. Whatever.
It's fun, man. It's fun. That's all you have to do.
Anyway, God bless.
Yeah.
So, any other questions here? Ladies and gentlemen?
Better. Last chance.
It's not every day we're going to get
She's
this remarkable young lady into
Come
our
on
office.
Up. Don't be shy.
Come up here.
Can I ask here?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I know by just listening to you, I get the great energy that you're spreading.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
So she's saying she gets great energy by listening to Mary-Anne.
I hear that kind of a lot. Yeah.
I warned him.
Yes, but let's say you would have 2 minutes or 3 minutes that maybe the counterpartner is somebody who actually gives you that negativity. How do you overcome that in a short time?
In a short time?
Yeah.
Repeat the question.
So the repeat is that if she's around someone negative, and you only got a few minutes, what would you do to me? I'm going to just avoid them. Like like enough, right? Like Mike, who was my coach and mentor for 19 years, you know, he would just, that's it. It's not going to listen. Unless you want to be inspiring and ask some good questions. He loved questions. Questions are what makes a coach better. But they don't want to listen to negative energy. Nobody does. Your kids, your husband, your family, right? They all want to avoid it. So how would you, and I know you want to avoid it too.
I hate it. I mean, here's 2 things I'm going to tell you. First thing I'm going to tell you is that, so people say, am I ever negative is something that, I'm human. I'm human, right? And I say it all the time. I'm human, so like there are moments, like I just had something major. I just had something major in my own company where, you know, somebody was in it that was sent in to take everything in my company. And so you don't think that was negative? Absolutely. That person was in my company for 6 to 7 months. Took everything I have. Everything. And that was recent. So at the end of the day, you don't think that cast a big negative vibe on me? Of course it did. It was really tough. So you're going to have your own negative and you're going to have your other negative. So my whole thing is that I cannot always see. I have to see the lesson. First part of the answer, I see the lesson. I get it. I'm so grateful that happened to me recently. I have never been more grateful because you know what? It lit something that had to be lit, and the universe will give that to you. If you do not do what the universe has planned for you to do, it is going to serve it to you so painfully that it's going to force you to do it. And that is exactly what happened to me. On the flip side, when we do Ironmans, that question is perfect. Because the one thing when you're preparing to race or you're preparing to go into the Ironman race, like right when you're at the venue, what ends up happening is that you can get influenced. You are in the most fragile mental state because you are about to go all in and race. You could die. You literally could die. And the insecurities, and you're looking around, and everybody's got different body types, different lifestyles, everything, and you're going, like, this is so hard. So when somebody came in recently to the Ironman, they were around me, and they were talking, and we finished a practice swim, and we were just about to race the next day. The person was so negative. The water's too cold. It's choppy. Oh my gosh. And my son has this, and you know what? It's just really effed up my training, and it was negative, 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 negative. I will tell you, I just looked at the person, I smiled politely, and I said, oh my gosh, I just got a text, I'm so sorry, I have to go. And that's exactly what I did. And I left, and that person was like, and I was like, no, I cannot be in that environment. You need to shut it down fast, find a reason, get the hell out of it, because the reality is that if you hear something enough times and it's negative, it reframes you. And it's like, and I just can't. And it's like, I have to preserve that. And it's like, because I see it in myself. If all I have is somebody who's negative, and you can see it in companies. If you have that one person that's casting negativity around a company, you can see it indirectly. And it really festers and festers and festers. And I know it. And as a coach, you have to remember, every call in 2023 and 2024 has not been easy. This is not an easy 2 years of coaching. It is very hard. We are lucky our clients succeed at a high level, but what they'll refer to me is they'll call it this, and you can ask any of our clients. We're in the Mary-Anne bubble. We're in the Mary-Anne bubble, and the Mary-Anne bubble is we don't give a shit. We are in this bubble, and if you don't want to play to win in December, we are. So blinders on, let's go, and nobody else is in our bubble. So we are very good at creating bubbles around what we want to see and what our outcomes are, and then nobody enters it. If you're in my bubble, it's because I like you. I would not fly to come spend time with Daryl and do this for you guys if I didn't believe that he was a beneficial, positive influence to my energy. He would never be here. I would never fly out to do this for him, ever. So him and I are here because I like his energy. I've always found him positive, and I believe in him. So that's why I'm here. So very different. Yeah.
So think about it. Why wouldn't I want to be around someone like that? You feel the energy. I have tons of energy. That's what I said. If anyone can match my energy, this one will match, maybe surpass it. I'm not going to try and do the Iron Woman or Iron Man with her.
Yes, he is. Let's do it, right? Yes. Like, let's do it. For his birthday's coming up. How's about a registration?
One of my friends, she was a professional athlete.
Yeah?
And she climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. She actually lives there part of the time.
Would you like that for your birthday?
My lungs wouldn't handle it, but that's a pretty cool thing,
I think he's hinting.
No, but I'm saying that's a nice challenge, right?
We need to sign him up. Yes.
The problem is most of the people these days became very negative.
Yes, I see that.
Avoid a lot of people that we know in our life, in work, family, friends. So we are like surrounded by a lot of negativity everywhere, and we cannot avoid all of these people.
Oh, yes, you can. First of all, you can. First of all, you
Yes.
can because first of all, you can. I don't care what anybody says. Life is too short, my friend. You know what? Life is too short, and you have to draw lines. You know what? I talk about it all the time. You know what? You know, whether it's even a family member or not, you know, you have complete control over your surroundings, 100%. You're not a tree, which means you can move, okay? If you're a tree, you can't move. You're stuck there. You got to listen to that shit. But if you are, and I understand a lot of people feel like it is your environment, and there's so many people around you like that, you need to set boundaries, girl. You need to set those boundaries and be like, look, you know what? It's okay for me to say, you are a toxic, negative person, and you need to zip it. And I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, the person's going to hate me. So what if they do? If you tell somebody the truth, there's ways to execute it, right? There's ways to say, look, I'm trying to, we call this here, I saw the most brilliant thing with my former boss. He was a CEO. He was incredible. And he had the most horrible situation happening in an entire company. And I wanted to see how he would execute it, because when I say horrible, I've never seen a real estate office that he had to come in and it was terrible. Like, it was hundreds of people who were waiting to stab this guy. It was that bad. He was a strong, strong leader. He walked into the room and everybody was waiting to pounce on him. And he deserved it. He deserved to be pounced on. So I was like, oh, I got to watch this, right? So I flew all the way down just to watch it, because I was like, this is going to be amazing. This is like better than Hunger Games. So I was like, let's watch this, right? And so anyway, so long story short, he stood in front of the room and he says, I'm going to talk to everybody here. He goes, but here's the thing. Everybody wants to come at me. He goes, and I'm going to tell you something. He goes, we're going to set the rules right now. I operate with conversations up here, not here. And he's like, and how you can tell the difference is, he goes, if you're bringing problems to the table, it's down here. If you're bringing problems with solutions to the table, it's up here. He's like, but there are two types of conversations: high level, low level. And he's like, and if anybody in this entire organization talks at a low level, even once, he's like, I will grab my bags and I'm hopping on a plane and I'm out. He goes, we are high level people, high level conversations, and this is our lives. So you either operate up here and we are solutions based and we are positive, and everything out of your mouth needs to be high level. If you cannot figure that out, I'm out, and there is no second chances to that one. And let me tell you something. I've never seen that type of leadership in my life. It changed the whole room. They all came in to want a Hunger Games, this guy, and they left the room with some of the most epic energy I've ever seen in my life. Incredible. So you need to set the boundaries. And if you set the boundaries, then what is the consequence to the boundaries not being followed? And if there's no consequence, then there's no boundaries.
Yeah, but it's very rare these days to meet with people like you or Daryl. Like, most of the people are in the negative side.
Yeah, so you'll be very, very small circle.
I will be lonely.
How do you
No,
think?
you won't be lonely. You'll
how
be
big do
happy,
you-
Naveen.
How big do you think my circle is? You think it's big? My circle ain't big. My circle ain't big. My circle is small, small, and small. And most of us who are very happy and very positive, our circles are small. Why? Because we love ourselves. I wake up every day and I don't care. I love myself. I don't care what happened in my company, that somebody took everything and all that stuff. I don't care. I cared for a brief moment, but I woke up in the morning and I'm like, I looked in the mirror. I'm like, girl, you've been through way too much to let anything stop you. And I'm like, you are fierce, you are powerful, and you are everything. And if I don't believe in my freaking self, then who the hell else should believe in me? I don't need 25 people kissing my ass every day, telling me I'm the best thing since sliced bread. You know what I need? I need me. I need me. That's all I need.
Naveen, so the problem is, it doesn't matter if it's family or friends or whoever. I know thousands and thousands of people. I probably know more people than anyone I know. But a lot of people I don't hang out like I used to. And it's not that I don't love them. I just don't want to be around them anymore, because I don't need the negative energy. So if there's socials, we'll get together and it's great, whatever. But who I was 1 year ago, like old friends, I have lots of old friends. They knew me 20 or 30 years ago. They don't know me today. They know I was the wildest, craziest guy they ever knew. And I was the wildest, crazy guy I even knew. But
I believe that.
But even then, I worked hard and I was good. I could party all night, and I get up at 6 o'clock and be at work at 7, no problem, right? That was discipline and commitment. So today, every day, that's why I say 365 days, I have a complete review. So a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years, where do you know me from, right? I'm different. How have you changed? What have you changed in the last year? I know every year I change, and I would challenge you to change also. And if that's changing some of your friends or family members, they can still be your family members, but you're not going to see them all the time, right? So surround yourself with people that are going to be compelling that you want to be with, right? I just went away with 16 guys, right? Now, it was a different group than we had last year, but I tried to bring in the new members that instead of hanging out with my buddies that I know really well, I tried to hang out with them and to bring them in. And at the end we had some group shots, because earlier I was the photographer and I wasn't getting those group shots. So it doesn't happen in a day. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But you be the inspirational point. You be the one that makes a difference, right?
And it's okay, like I said.
If you can touch one person, and that person touches one person and keeps going down the line. So that's what we're here for. We're all here to touch each other, to help each other grow, to help each other improve. Anybody online, same thing. So lots of negative people trying to affect more negative people.
Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Girl, it's everywhere. Like when I was homeless, I had no house, no family, nothing. I was truly on my own. And you know what I learned? It was amazing. Like, it was amazing because you can't, like, there's no limitations. You know, the limitations are usually the people with the biggest circles are the ones that I find have the most limitations because they're always listening to everything else that's going around and comparing and whatever. And I love that saying, you are the company of the 5 people closest to you. Really? Really? Okay, whatever. Like, whatever. I'm like, you know what? How's about, like, who cares about who's around me? How's about, like, really good energy? And how's about, you are who you see yourself in the mirror and who you believe you're going to be. Doesn't matter who's around you. That's irrelevant. It's always irrelevant. You'll be okay. But, again, if there's no boundaries and consequences, then it's the same, like, you're not doing anything. You're just kind of, like,
we got
hoping.
one more question.
Yes.
We're going to wrap this up because
okay.
we've gone
yes,
overboard.
because I'm like, ooh.
So this is Robert Cook from up in your area,
Ah,
from
Robert!
Ottawa, right? So number one, this to do today to impact your business next year. So this is a great question.
That's a great question.
This is an absolutely incredible question. I'll tell you what is great is when you have great questions, guys, because that's what makes you a better person, having those questions. So when we have meetings, you should always come with a great question because we don't know everything. We think we know everything. You don't, right? So great question. What is the number thing today to impact your business next year?
Okay, I'm going to say to impact your business next year, number one thing today to impact your business next year. Well, first of all, we talked a lot about December.
What we talked about.
Okay, so like
really
December is huge. But I would say one of the things that you have to remember is that I'm talking about this a lot, Robert, is transactional versus relationship-based agents. You must remember that the transactional agent is dying. They're going away, okay? They are having a very rapid funeral, okay? It's happening, all right? So it's like, so say goodbye. It's like watching a ship sink. Do not jump on that. The transactional agent is done. And just because you're transactional doesn't mean that you don't care about the clients in the business. It means that you're not showing it. Relationship-based businesses, okay, clients can get their content and information everywhere now. When you have a relationship with somebody and you care about somebody, you do things like this. I met Daryl, I see Daryl, we're at events and everything. This is what relationships is. I don't care how many houses he sold. I do value him as a human being. Relationship-based businesses is exactly what the trend of the industry is. It's going to be the future trend as more technology comes in. Do not hide behind it. Lean into it. Lean into your clients. Lean into caring about people, picking up the phone, but scrap and burn transactional-based businesses. It is not relevant at all to know how many houses you sold, hiding behind technology, only caring about the deal. Connect with the humans behind everything and care about them and show them and learn about them, even at open houses. Become relationship-based. Do not become transactional-based. Your business will explode. If you care and you show it and learn how, if you don't know how or if you don't know what this means, learn how to do it. But stop being transactional because that boat is going. It's leaving. It was great until COVID, and now it's changed.
Robert, perfect time. Go have some great touches. I'm old school. Belly to belly, face to face, phone call is going to be the best thing to serve you today. And do it today.
And chocolate. I really think, and coffee. Oh my gosh, yes. Coffee, not the crappy stuff, the really good stuff. And you know what? Load up with coffee and don't listen. It's okay to have it at 2:00 in the afternoon, like whatever. Anyway, thanks, Robert. That was a great question.
Take care, Robert. Thank you. So we're going to wrap this up. I want to take a big round of applause for Mary-Anne.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
So good. Woo-hoo.
I told you she has a lot of energy. Alex has met her before, and a lot of these in here didn't meet you before.
I know.
And now they did. So now they're always going to say, Mary-Anne, let's get Mary-Anne, let's get Mary-Anne.
Let's get
right?
Mary-Anne. I love it.
Listen, for me to be sitting with Mary-Anne is an honor. It's like when you're attracted to someone, you feel good with somebody. It's endless. So this is the type of person I want to go have dinner with. This person, let's go for a trip or whatever, right? I might have to go cycling with her. I can't do as many cycles as you can, but I can ride okay, right? So, you know, I'll have to go up to Ottawa because
You have to.
My sister, when she was there, I used to go up there every long weekend, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of things she said today. We're going to share this with everybody that was on here today. If you want it, just reach out to us, and we're going to be happy to share it. We're going to share it with Mary-Anne. She can go share it to whoever she wants to share it with. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because there's lots of places you can be today. And, you know, for me, this is the most important place. I could have been in Dominican Republic right now golfing but with my buddies, but I choose to come back to be with you guys and Mary-Anne. You know, she came from Ottawa. I came from Dominican Republic where it was like 30 degrees and the weather was fantastic. The golf courses are beautiful and the food's pretty good too. So anyway, I want to thank you all. I want to wish you all the best holidays, best health, wealth, and happiness moving forward to 2025. Let it be your best ever. But I'll tell you one thing. Just live your life to its fullest and enjoy it. Don't let the negative energy get in that way. You be that inspiration. Go touch someone every single day. If you go touch someone, they touch someone, we're going to change
Like, not
this
physically,
around.
though. Like, just so we're clear. Like, you don't be walking around, you know, Yonge Street touching everybody.
Right.
That's just like...
You know. But you can make it happen. You can do it. So this is Daryl King sharing the mindsets. Again, I want to thank Mary-Anne for being on here. She was incredible. We'll put in the link about your...
We'll put everything in the link. And
but I want about your business plan.
Yeah, we'll put that in there, and we'll do notes.
Right?
And the open house.
So,
Yes.
anyway, be well, be safe, everybody. Take care. And this will probably be, but there might have another friend that I might want to bring on before the year's end because the year's not over.
Not even close.
Right? So, stay tuned and have a great week.
And Happy New Year!